Hey guys, you're welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, I want to show us how to make this structured detail on a dress. On the fabric that I have here, I have already added an interface to it. So I'll measure the part which I want the detail to be on the dress. And it will be on one side of the cup to the other side. So taking a tape rule, I'll measure the point from that under the cup all the way to the other side. After taking this measurement, I had 17 inches there. So I'll be adding about 1 or 2 inches as my allowance. On the interfaced fabric, I will measure that out and then mark. Now I'll need to measure the height of the detail. And I'll be using about 5 inches on one part of it, and the other side will be 3 inches. So it will not be 5 inches all the way through, but it will take a slanty shape. So now I have measured and I've gotten the 5 inches height, and then I need to place the length which I had already measured on the dress. So marking that, I'll need to observe the other 3 inches, which will be as a slope, and then I'll connect that height of 5 inches to the height of 3 inches, and like you can see, it's slanty. So now when I cut it out, note that I make this fabric unfold. So when I cut it out, I will slice this part that is folded open, because I'll be sewing some bonings on one part of it, and the other part will be as a lining. The lining part, that the smooth part, will be the one facing up, and the boning part will be beneath. So I'm simply giving it a clean cut, okay? And then, like I said, I'll slice it open. Now, I will measure half inch all the way around, because that will be my sewing allowance. So I like to mark this out before I start sewing the bonings on the other side, on the two sides of this fabric, and I've drawn it out to give me a mark. Now that will be a guide for me when I'm sewing the bonings on this fabric. So now turning it to the right side, this is what it will look like before I start attaching the bones. Making it this way, I get to know which part will face up and the one that will come beneath. And like I said, the one beneath will be the one to have the bonings. I have already ironed the boning. Note, if you iron the boning, it makes it easier for you to sew, and then it gives you a very neat sewing. So now I will attach those bonings following the guide which I have drawn out. I will make it to exceed that part, and this is what it looks like. So after attaching the bones, I made some to the two edges and one that runs in the middle, so 5 boning all together. And then I'll cover this with the lining, like I said, and this part that I didn't attach boning will face up. So I'll take it to the machine now, and then I'll sew it, the other two heights and one beneath, and I'll keep one side open so I'll be able to turn it inside out. After sewing it, I like to just trim out some inch of, now I used half inch, remember, so I'll trim it down to about quarter inch around the corners, so I'll be able to bring out the corners properly, and then I'll trim it all the way around so it will not look bulky. I don't really want to have much fabric inside. So now trimming this out, I'll then turn it inside out and make sure that all my corners come out properly. So if you're newbie here, thanks for stopping by, and please consider subscribing. If this video adds any value to you at all, please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you. So turning it inside out, and I'm trying to get out the corners. After getting out my corners, I'll take it to the ironing board and give it a good press. And then I'll fold the other part that is open. I'll fold the half inch I added inwards, and then I'll sew it down.